Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speedrunning video. So in today's video I'm going to build another house on my save file. This house is built in Del Sol Valley and I'm not too sure on what the lot type or lot size is. I think it might be like a 40 by 50. It looks pretty big, I'm just not too sure. I built this around about a week ago or so, and so I can't actually remember off the top of my head, but like always it'll be in the build details in the description box down below. So this house has 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. 2 of the bedrooms actually have en-suites, and then one of the bedrooms is actually downstairs in the basement. And as you can see, there's kind of like this double garage on the side. Now that isn't actually a bedroom. I made it into, well, a garage. It's kind of like a miscellaneous room. It's got loads of different bits and bobs in there. There's like a woodworking table, the tumble dryer and washing machine are in there. I can't even remember what else is in there, but it's just kind of like loads of random activities that sometimes can be hard to find a place in houses, and it's just kind of put into there. So if you wanted to, you could actually make that into another bedroom. I decided not to though. So when I was building this, I did actually have a backstory in my head, but it wasn't actually as developed as it is now. So originally I was going off the idea of there was a couple that lived in this house and they were adults, and they actually had a son that was a young adult, and I kind of had it in my head that maybe they had him really young and he's now a university student and he is the sim that actually lives in the basement. I kind of thought it would be nice for him to have his own little space downstairs, kind of away from everyone, as he is a little bit older than his other siblings. And so that was kind of the main story I was going off when I was actually building it. But once I was actually in and editing it, I kind of developed a better backstory, I think anyway. So I was kind of thinking that maybe possibly one of the parents wants to be a musician and the other parent is kind of like their publicist or manager or something and just helps them along the way. And it kind of made sense because where this is built in Del Sol Valley, which is the world that we got with Get Famous, and I was kind of thinking that maybe the family moved to Del Sol Valley because they want to advance one of the parents in their musical career. Del Sol Valley is the place to be if you want to be famous, and I was just kind of thinking maybe that's why they moved to Del Sol Valley. And then it actually gives me an opportunity to make them have a bigger family tree but in other worlds, because something and one of the main things I want to do for my save file is have just loads of family in some way, shape or form. Some people are related, there might just be like a few random people that don't actually have any family, but I'm going to try and keep it to a minimum, because the one thing I always find with The Sims 4 is there's no family trees really. There's very, very small ones. I think one of the biggest ones may be the Spencer Kim Lewis household. If that's, they've got a really confusing name, but they have like one of the biggest family trees in the game, as I can remember anyway. And that was one thing that I loved about The Sims 3 and The Sims 2, just going up in family trees and just seeing who is related to who, and I just really want that for my save file. And so maybe with going off the idea that they moved from a different world, I can create them other relatives in different worlds, so like cousins and grandparents and all that kind of stuff. I'm just really excited for my save file, and this past week I've actually been building so much. So I was actually meant to upload this video yesterday, but I was in such a big building mood. I actually built 2 things yesterday, one of which took me like 6 to 7 hours, and so it was quite a big build, and I just wanted to build. I didn't really want to sit down and edit a video. I was just in a really good building mood, and so that's why the video is actually going up today. I'm not actually too sure when I'll upload the other 2 videos. I have them both completely finished and they're both edited as well. I just need to do the screenshots for them both, but I'm actually really excited to upload them. One of them is actually a restaurant, and then the other one is actually a farm, which if you actually watch my last video you'll hear me talk about a farming pack, and I really hope that we do get a farming pack, although it's not a farm kind of in an aspect of it's got animals on it. It's just kind of more like a fruit and vegetable farm kind of thing, and so that'll be coming up very shortly. I'm just not completely sure when, but possibly in the next week or so. But as you can kind of see, I've now actually moved on and I've started landscaping this house. Now I didn't speak about it in my last video, I actually didn't touch on it, I was meant to, but one thing that is really annoying me in the game is the glitches with the terrain tools and landscaping. It's driving me insane. So one of them is actually when you overlay plants. I don't know if it's happening to a lot of other people, but in my game whenever I overlay plants when I'm landscaping, the plants just kind of like wiggle and they have a mind of their own. They don't want to put down where I want them to put down, basically is what I'm trying to say. And so it's really annoying when you're trying to put a plant in a certain place and it just kind of wiggles, and it's just really, really hard. And the glitch has been in the game since before I had that little mini break, and so that was a few months ago, and so I don't know why they haven't fixed it. I really hope they do, because it is so annoying, especially when you're landscaping. I've actually started to love landscaping. When I actually first started building, I absolutely hated landscaping. I used to dread doing it, but now I actually really like it. I feel like landscaping makes a house complete, like from the outset. I just really like landscaping now, but with this glitch, it's making me not like landscaping anymore. But the other glitch as well with like kind of landscaping in the game is the terrain paint is just so annoying. So basically, I think a lot of people have also said about this, but when you terrain paint sometimes and then you come out of the game, sometimes it will completely wipe all the terrain paint, and that's exactly what happened in this house. I spent so long trying to get that driveway perfect and it just be the perfect little slope and stuff, and when I was actually landscaping, what you'll see me do now, I accidentally pressed a button on my keyboard, I think it was like F1 or something, and it took me to the world map, and then I quickly went back into the lot, and once I went back in, all the terrain paint was completely gone. It was like I never even did it, and it was so annoying because there is actually a way where if you are maybe doing a build over several days, you can actually save the lot into your library, and then once you come back, if the terrain paint is gone, then you can just re-add it. Where I accidentally pressed the button, I didn't obviously save it, and so it was just so annoying, and I can't believe it actually happened. It was just the most infuriating thing, so hopefully that gets fixed soon as well. I'm not actually sure what other glitches and bugs are in the game. I don't actually play the game as much anymore just because I've been in such a big building mood. I'm just so inspired lately by everything, and I've got so many different ideas for different community lots. I've got so many different community lot ideas, like some random ones where I've been like inspired by different random things, and I'm just really excited to get in and start building it so much more. Like I said, I've done like 2 builds, or actually 3 builds this week if you're including this one, and I'm just really excited. By the way, if anyone's actually got any suggestions of what they want me to build, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll definitely try and do it. But as you can see, all the landscaping in the house is finally done, and I'm just going around and adding some stairs. As you can see as well, I did use some terrain manipulation to kind of make a slope up to the garage bit, because I don't like that we can't have the walls on different levels. That's one thing that I actually really want in the game, is if we could possibly have, so if you have like a house that's on a foundation and another house which is not connected to that same house, they can be at different levels, and I really want that ability. But if the house is connected, just because when you're making things like garage and stuff, it just makes it so much easier. As you can see as well, I did just go in and completely change some of the like the wallpapering from the outside. I originally went for this beigey colour, and I just did not like it. I felt like it looked so boring, and so I went in and mixed a few different wallpapers. I think I actually used 2 base game wallpapers, I believe, that are just kind of in the brick menu, I think. But I am just going in now and just doing the back garden. So like always, I did do the landscaping for the back garden off camera. I feel like a broken record whenever I say that, just because I never actually show the back garden landscaping, because I do try and keep my videos as short as possible. I try and keep them under 25 minutes. Now I know this one's probably not going to be under 25 minutes, because currently without the screenshots it's standing at 24 minutes, and so it might be like 26 or 27 minutes or something like that. But I always try and keep it under the 25-minute mark, because I feel like otherwise it can be very, very long. And I'm not a massive fan of doing 2-part videos. I know I have done some in the past, and that's just because sometimes I do have to do them, but if I can help it, I want to try and make everything into a 25-minute video. But as you can see as well, I'm actually adding a pool into the back garden. Now I actually struggled when I was adding this pool, because the back garden was kind of really wide but not very long, and so I wanted to still fit one in, but it could have been a really small one if I would have just done it one way, and so I kind of made the pool be like on a corner, and it kind of works that way. You still have a lot more space. I am also adding some sunbeds as well. I believe I haven't actually used these sunbeds yet. I believe we got these in an update whilst I was actually away, and I actually really, really like them. There's actually a few objects that we actually got with that update which I'm still yet to use, and I'm actually really happy with that update. We've got so many nice things. We've actually got quite a few wallpapers as well, so I'm really, really happy with that. I'm also excited to see what the Sims team are going to be doing for this month, if we're going to be getting an update or not, because in 2 days, on February the 4th, it's actually going to be the 20th anniversary of The Sims, which is actually crazy to think about, because The Sims is literally something I've been playing ever since I can remember. I've literally been playing the game since I was 6 years old, and on Tuesday the game, it turns 20 years old, which is absolutely insane. So I don't know if we're going to be getting a really good patch or something. Hopefully we get an update. I'm not sure if we will be getting one or something, but I'm really eager to see if we actually are getting one, if it's going to be a different kind of patch update. It's like, it's not kind of like the usual kind of things that we get in the patch update. Maybe they've done something extra because it is the 20th year or something like that. I don't know. I'm quite excited for it though, and like I said, I can't believe The Sims has actually been out for 20 years. That's absolutely insane. I actually cannot believe that. But moving on from that, as you can see, I am just doing this little porch bit in the garden. So there is sort of like this little porch as soon as you walk out the back doors. Now there is actually 2 back door entrances. There's actually one which are the sliding doors which are used from Island Living, and they come in through the lounge room, and then there is also a little kitchen door as well. I love that door, I don't know why, but I actually really like that door. It's a base game door, and I think it's just so simple and lovely, and I use that in the back garden to like go into the kitchen as well. I was kind of thinking that this household will probably have a dog or a cat, and they'll probably have muddy paws and stuff, and so it's always nice for them to be able to walk through the kitchen and not kind of walk into the main like lounge room and stuff like that. I have actually done that quite a few times in the past videos as well. But as you can see, I've actually now moved on to the inside, and I've actually started furnishing off by doing the lounge room first. Now I actually use these, I believe they're Discover University sofas, and I've wanted a corner sofa for so long, and now you can actually kind of do it. You could previously do it with the Moschino, I don't know how you say it, I can never really learn how to say it, but not the latest stuff pack because that was Tiny Living, but the one before that, we got some sofas in there, and you can actually make a corner sofa out of them ones, but you also got these ones with Discover University, and it's just really easy to make a corner sofa. And I really wanted to do it in this house. I kind of went for the interior style of kind of classic but also kind of modern at the same time, like kind of like a mixture of both, and I felt like that sofa was quite modern, and I just really liked it. This little sofa area is kind of in like the hallway of the house. It isn't really a separate room for it. It's a very open planned house, and as you can see, like I said, we've got them Island Living sliding doors that just walk out into the back garden, and I just think it's a very just fresh and open house, and I really like it. I'm also adding this little bookcase in, which we got from, I believe, the Moschino pack as well. I'm going to try and avoid saying it because I can't actually say it, but I love that bookcase because I love the little plant that like dangles down. I hope that we get some plants like that in the game, like in future updates or maybe in future packs, that are kind of like hanging plants which you can put on shelves and stuff. I think that'll just be so lovely. But now I am moving on into the kitchen, and for the kitchen I decided to go for these cool kitchen cabinets, and then the cool kitchen stove and fridge as well, I believe. And I did have a little bit of a struggle because I wanted it to look built in. Now one of the things I really hope that when we get more kitchen items in the game, so maybe like new counters, new oven, new fridges and all that kind of stuff, they will update them so the fridges are a little bit bigger, because the only fridge that actually slots in perfectly into the full grid is the Parenthood fridge, and I use that fridge quite a lot just because of that purpose, I think. But with the other fridges, there's kind of like a little gap, so when you put it next to a counter, there's a gap on either side, and I experienced that when I was trying to put this tall cabinet on one side of them because it was quite a large gap, and I just had to work around it. I did actually end up scooting the tall cabinet over to the fridge a little bit, and then I actually just put a column behind it, or like a pillar behind it, which was a very similar colour to it, so it kind of looks like it's bigger than what it is. But hopefully with future fridges or I say fridges but there's nothing else with future fridges that we'll actually get it, so they're actually the same size as the full grid and not just kind of like a little bit off the actual size of it. But as you can see, I am now just cluttering up these little shelves by the back door. On there we have some plants. We also have some books, which I imagine are recipe books, and in the latest update there was an update, so them little kind of like cluster of books that you can use as decorations, you can actually now get books off, which I think is actually really cool. We got that with Tiny Living, or it wasn't with Tiny Living, it was kind of in an update when Tiny Living come out, and I think it was really cool. I actually didn't put them there for the purpose of a bookshelf, I just kind of put them there as the purpose of just decoration kind of thing. I'm actually yet to playtest this house. Like always, I will playtest this before I put it onto the gallery, but I didn't put them there for kind of like a purpose to use them, if that makes any sense. I didn't put them there thinking that your Sims are going to use them. I just kind of put them there for decoration. But as you can see, there is also a little breakfast bar in this kitchen as well. Now I do actually kind of change that a little bit, because at the minute it's kind of like an all half wall apart from one little square where you can kind of see into the lounge room. And when I did this little desk area, I thought it would be a bit strange if maybe one of the parents is sitting there maybe doing some management work or whatever, and there's another Sim just sitting eating their breakfast. I just kind of felt like it needed to be a little bit more formal, so I do actually close that in a little bit and just add like a taller wall as well, and it kind of makes it look a little bit more cuter and secluded, and I really like that. But this is kind of like the main family computer where I imagine one of the parents would do a lot of management, write a lot of emails, and maybe do some publicist stuff, or I don't really know, but something like that. And then I am just going back into the kitchen and adding some more counters and stuff just to kind of make it look a little bit more full and cluttered. But now I am actually moving on and I started furnishing the dining room. So this house does also have a separate dining room to the little breakfast bar in the kitchen. I was kind of thinking that the breakfast bar in the kitchen would be for maybe breakfast and lunches. Maybe the university student needs to grab something on his way out before he goes to university or something like that. It's just not a very formal place, whereas the dining room is somewhere where overnight time all of the Sims can sit down and have a big family dinner together. I do actually alter it in a little bit because I decided to put a toddler's little bed, or a toddler's bed, so I decided to make a toddler's room into this house, and so I do actually change one of the chairs to be a higher chair. But I just kind of imagine that maybe every single night all the Sims sit down together and they have a big family meal. I was also kind of thinking that maybe once a week, maybe like every Sunday or something, that the family would invite all their friends round and they would all have this like massive big family feast together. That was just kind of what I was thinking. But I do just use the Get Famous chairs, and I actually paired them with the Cool Kitchen Stuff table, and the combination actually works really well together. But now moving on, I have actually just started furnishing the hallway of the house. So like always, I always put like a little umbrella stand here. I always put like a little rack for your Sims to throw their hats and coats and stuff. Even though they can't actually do that, I always try to imagine that they can do that. I also noticed that I haven't actually been putting any hallway tables like recently, because something that I always used to do in all of my houses was put like a little hallway table as soon as your Sims walk in through the front door, so they could always just chuck their keys on, or maybe like their letters or something. I haven't actually done that in a while. I'm not actually quite sure why. But now I've actually moved on and I started furnishing one of the bathrooms. So you do actually only see me furnish one bathroom. So 2 of the bedrooms have en-suites, and then there is also another bedroom on the other side of the house. The 2 en-suites are actually right next door to each other, and I just decided to show the furnishing of one just because it does get really repetitive and really boring. I am actually using one of the kind of new wallpapers. It's new to me because I haven't really used it that much, but we actually did get this wallpaper in an update, and I just think it is so lovely and wonderful, and I really like it. In this bathroom though, I do just use the Get Famous bathtub, the big round corner one, as well as a his and hers sink, and then also like a little toilet and also a little shower as well. This house does also have laundry. If you do not want to have laundry in your game, that's absolutely fine. You can just remove it. I actually have the washing machine and the tumble dryer in the garage, so if you just don't want it, you can just remove it like I said. But now I'm actually just going to finish off this bathroom. I do actually add some shelves into the bathroom as well, just to kind of make it look a little bit extra special. But now I'm actually moving on and I started furnishing the garage. So you can make this room into a bedroom if you would like. You can make it into really anything, but I just kind of wanted it to be a miscellaneous room. So in here, like I said, you do have the washing machine and tumble dryer, and then I also tried to create the illusion of some built-in cabinets. I used some kitchen cabinets to do this, and then I also used this like shelving unit that we got with laundry day. And then I actually added another shelf to this because one of the sections has a really long, it's just really long, and like it doesn't need to be that long, and so I added my extra little shelf to it as well, just to give it some more clutter into there. We do also have a little broom kind of thing hanging on the wall. I just think it really looks like a garage, and I'm actually really happy with this room. I just kind of think it mimics a real life garage really well. We do have some miscellaneous items in here as well, so I just chucked the little dartboard as well over there, and then we have the woodworking table. We also have the pumpkin carving machine. Like I said, it's just kind of like one of them rooms that's got loads of different activities that you can kind of be hard to place in a house, and so a garage is like a definitely perfect place to put them all in. I do also have this little corkball, which I'm actually going to add some postcards to in a minute. I actually have a little saved room with all the postcards in, and I just add them all to the post board, and I just think it looks really nice. I think I'm actually going to add maybe a keyboard in here or something like that, because I do want one of the parents to be a musician. Maybe I might add a guitar as well, I'm not too sure, but it is quite a big and empty room, and it's definitely got the space for it, so I think it's probably just like the perfect place to put one if I'm going to add any musical items into this house. But now I'm actually just going back in, and I'm actually going in and adding the high chair into the dining room, because this is where I decided that I wanted this to be a toddler's bedroom. I really hope that one day we get another toddler pack, because I was about to say a toddler pack, but we've already got a toddler stuff pack, but a toddler pack that's got more beds for toddlers, because I don't know if anyone else struggles with this problem, but I'm always finding myself using the same like 1 or 2 beds in the game, and I'm always using the same 1 or 2 swatches, and it can be really boring after a while, and I just really want more toddler furniture. We have had a few game packs, so with Jungle Adventure I believe we've got an updated toddler bed which you can kind of like move around and stuff, but I kind of want it more kind of just furniture that looks like it's meant to be there and you can't move it around, because the Jungle Adventure one looks like you can move it around. It looks like an inflatable bed, and I kind of wish that we'd get some more toddler beds and stuff like that. But in this room we do just have the typical kind of toddler stuff. We do have this little chest of drawers which I'm cluttering up now. I think this is from Parenthood or Kids Room Stuff, but I think it's from Parenthood. And then I'm just cluttering up with some toys. That little balloon thing that I put above it, I do actually get rid of because it would not stop floating. No matter what I did, it would not stop floating, and it was really annoying because I actually really like the look of it above all the like little drawings that looks like the toddler's done. But unfortunately I just had to get rid of it just because it was annoying me and it just would not stop floating. And that's one of the things that really annoys me when you have floating things, when you have the walls down to like the 3 mode, if you know what I mean. But I am just going around and just adding the final touches to this room, some posters and some wall decorations. And now I'm actually moving on to the teenager's bedroom. So the teenager's bedroom do actually have an ensuite onto it. It's also got one of the walk-in wardrobes that we've got with Get Famous, and I just use this cats and dogs bed, and it's kind of like a pink swatch, and I really like this swatch. I'm also using this wallpaper from that pack which I can't pronounce. I don't know why I'm talking about it so much in this video, but the Moschino pack, I really need to learn how to say it, but we actually got that wallpaper with that pack, I believe, and it's actually a really nice wallpaper, and I haven't used it until now, I don't believe, and I thought it would be a perfect feature wall for this bedroom. So instead of just having like a plain wall or something, you can have the 3 walls like I have, which are white, and then just one big main feature wall, and it just kind of ties in with the bed as well. As you can see, I have got a little desk in this room as well, and I absolutely love them new little bookcase objects that we've got with Tiny Living. I think they're so lovely, and my favourite swatch of them is actually the one that I've used. It's kind of like a white, pink and gold. It's just really, really nice, and I really liked it. And so I did actually merge a few of them together to make it look longer, because I just wanted it to look like this teenager had a load of different books instead of just like a few. I do also add some more books around the room as well. As you can kind of see, I did just add some on top of the bed frame, and then I am just going to go in and just add some more items. So I am actually currently just adding this little chest of drawers that we also got with Tiny Living. I actually really like the Tiny Living pack. I just think the furniture is so lovely. It's definitely my kind of furniture style. I just really, really like it. On here we just have some makeup, we also have a little plant, and then I also do add a little art easel. I was kind of thinking that maybe this teenager is really into like art and everything creative. I just kind of felt like this is what that teenager would like. I did also place that table down, which we've got with Tiny Living. It actually looks like a little sofa or like a little chair to sit on, but it's actually like a little table. I do actually like it as a table, but it would be nice if it could function as both a seat as well. But now I'm actually moving on, and I started furnishing at the basement. So this is where the young adult who's a student lives, and I really wanted this sim to have their own separate space from everyone else. You know, they're a young adult, maybe they're looking to move out of their parents' house soon or something like that, and they just kind of want to be away from everyone. Maybe they've got a lot of studying to do and stuff like that. I'm actually not quite sure of what type of degree this sim would be doing. I was actually trying to think of it as I was building it. I'm not quite sure. I believe I actually put the Brightchester flags down though, so it'll be something to do with Brightchester, because I put the Brightchester flags and kind of like all the kind of wall decorations you can get for each university. I put the Brightchester ones down. I believe that the Brightchester ones anyway, the yellow and green ones, I just put them down in here. This sim does also have like a little TV area in their room as well, so I use the Tiny Living. I think it's also a bookcase as well as like a TV stand, but it looks really cute. It's kind of like a small little compact one. I just think it looks really, really nice, and so I placed that in front of the bed, which has also got a little sofa, which is also from Tiny Living. I really like that new sofa that we've got. I just kind of wish that we've got a 3-seater version of it, but it kind of does make sense that we didn't get a 3-seater one because it is Tiny Living, so I do kind of see the common sense in that. But I do also create this little study nook in the corner as well. I originally didn't actually plan out where that was going to go, because quite often when I do my floor plans and stuff, I think about it logically and I try and imagine where each furniture item is going to go, and I didn't really do it with this room because it's kind of just like a little square box room in the basement. And so I did decide to make this little bump out, and in here I just use the university desk, and then I do also just clutter it up with loads of books from different kinds of packs. So we've got the Tiny Living ones. I believe we've also got maybe the City Living ones. I'm not sure if I deleted them or not. And then I do believe I also have some base game ones, but I'm just going to go around this room now and just finish it off, add some university items like I said, some flags, some posters and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm actually moving on to the last room in this house, which is the parents' bedroom. So in here I do just use a vintage Glamour bed, and then I also use these base game like little side tables either side of it and just clutter them up. I do also have a little walk-in wardrobe from Get Together in here, as well as a chest of drawers. There was kind of the space of both of them, and so I decided to put them both in here. But I am going to finish this room off by just adding a few extra pieces of furniture and a few more decorations just to make it feel a little bit more lived in. But anyway guys, I am actually going to end this voiceover here. As always, you can download this house via the gallery. My origin ID is JessicapieYT, or you can search the hashtag JessicapieYT or just the hashtag Jessicapie, and you can find me on the gallery that way. Anyway guys, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and as always, if you do like my content, then please subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in my next Sims 4 speed building video. Bye guys!